I'm hanging around long enough to see who gets Brooke Shields. You know how I start the day off?
Yeah.
I open my eyes, and if I don't see candles and smell flowers, I get up. Then I thumb my way through Playboy to get my heart started.
You haven't changed at all.
What? What?
Are you into...
I haven't changed.
Yeah, no.
I put on fresh stuff today.
Oh, no, I mean... Are you into any of this running and stuff they're all doing now? Aerobics or anything? Exercise?
Yeah, naps.
Naps. Aerobic naps.
Aerobic naps, I think. No, the only exercise I get is acting as pallbearer for my friends who exercise a lot. You know, Johnny, I play the colleges, and I must say something to you. I tell the students, I said, this is one of the greatest men. I think, truthfully, you are a greater wit and humorist than Will Rogers in this respect. He was great, don't get me wrong. But he had to go out, he'd go out and use the same topical joke maybe for a week, 2 weeks.
In what?
Where you have to come out every night when you're here.
And you were doing so good.
You have to go out every night and in your monologue and you tell topical jokes. What you're doing, you're releasing a vent in all the people because they're all looking for something to find humor in the things that are happening each day. And sometimes you'll look at the audience if well, that didn't go too good. But they are. You're only playing to 2 people. They're at home right now in bed, see? And, yeah. Now, these people here, when they all say, gee, I hope at the office they didn't hear this because I can use it tomorrow. So the best you're going to get from them is intellectual nods.
Oh, that's nice of you to say.
No, that's true. And you're a great inspiration for the students.
Oh, thank you.
They figure if you could make it, so can they.
We're talking with Richard Skelton.
That's my maiden name.
Yeah. When's the first time they called you Red?
Well, that's my middle name.
Yeah.
The teacher one day says, what is your middle name? I says, Red. She says, no, that's a nickname. I said, no, it's Red. She says, no, that's a nickname. Go home and find out what your middle name is. So I went home and I said to my mother, what's my middle name? She says, I'll hit you in the mouth. Well, the teacher says, well, my name's not Red. She says, well, that's your name. So I went back to school and said, what's your name? I said, it's Red, my middle name. She said, no. Now, don't come back until you've got a middle name. So I went home and my mother said, make up one. So I looked in the newspaper, and there's a place in Vincennes called Bernard's Clothery. So I said, that's my name, Bernard. So I went to school, and I says, what's your name? She says, Bernard. She says, see, I told you had a middle name. Then later on, I was in Washington, D.C., and J. Edgar Hoover says, well, how are you, Bernard? I said, Bernard? Where'd you get that? He says, it's on your dossier here.
You're kidding.
Yes.
So they put up a phony name, and they had it.
Yeah, they have it there. They have it there. But Red is my middle name.
Yeah.
I was
Vincennes, Indiana, right?
Yeah. My home.
What's the very first show you ever played that you remember, being on a stage in front of an audience?
Doing a show myself?
Yeah, or anything.
With a medicine show. A medicine show is a platform out in an open field, and you do a performance, and then you sell the product. Right. They call it television now.
What was burlesque like? Most people think burlesque was strippers. It wasn't such. Burlesque was family entertainment, wasn't it?
No, family entertainment. It was. When I was in, you couldn't say hell or damn, you know. And you ever had things bother you right in the middle of answering something?
Yeah.
It just dawned to me, mentioning that. People in hell, where do they tell people to go?
Burbank?
Another thing I can't figure out is why do they have a handicapped parking lot, space rather, in front of a liquor store?
You've been giving this a lot of thought, haven't you?
Yeah, another thing. How can your wife see a little blonde hair on your coat and miss the garage door? Huh?
You never light these, do you?
No, I
I've
never
known you for
light
many
them.
years.
No.
You carry this expensive cigar. Is
Yeah,
it?
but the United States Tobacco Company gives them to me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I do their commercials for them, you know.
I see, but you
as
just...
a matter of fact, I just did one of it.
Yes, you did, as a matter of fact. So you just hold that and...
I just hold them. I think it's must be a form of security in a way. I used to use a corn cob when I was in burlesque. Is a comic, and they had a corn cob. Then I used a rubber cigar. And when I was in burlesque, Matty Ellison, the straight man, says, why don't you learn to do all those things you're doing with that cigar with a real one? So I did. And after that show was over, the matinee show, the first show, we used to do 2 shows a day, one in the afternoon, one at night. Guy came backstage and says, you ever thought about going into vaudeville? I said, who hasn't? He says, well, the guy in my act is leaving in 2 weeks. I'd like to see. So I've always connected this with money, you know.
Security.
Yeah, security. I was only getting $50 a week when I was in burlesque, you know. You want to know something? They could have paid me $1,000 a week because they weren't even giving me my 50.
Makes no difference. I've told you this story before, and I've told it on the air, but I'm going to tell it briefly because I wrote for you one season. I was one of the writers, and I'd sit at home trying to write jokes, and you were doing, you know, occasionally you do Heathcliff and Gertrude, the 2 seagulls. So I'm sitting one night, and I'm sitting in front of a mirror to try to get the feeling, you know, and I'm going see Gertrude said to Heathcliff, and my wife walked in. And she saw this grown man with his thumbs under his armpits going, do. And she knew there was trouble in the marriage right then and there. And she said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm writing. You would sit and do that.
She says, I hope it's a check for the cat.
What's the favorite character the kids ask for nowadays?
Oh,
Mean Little Kid, Freddie the Freeloader?
Junior?
Sure.
Junior, the mean little kid.
Yeah.
Junior says, it's Junior, you pulling that cat's tail? No, I'm not pulling the cat's tail. I'm holding on. He's doing the pulling.
How's
Clem.
Clem.
They like Clem Cadiddlehopper. He says, well, sir, since I saw you last, I got married. Had a military wedding. There were guns there, let's put it that way. I met my wife through her brother. He says to me, would you like to meet one of my sisters? I said, you got sisters? He says, I got 2. One's name's Lafty and the other's Hortense. I said, Lafty's a dog. He says, wait till you see Hortense. Gertrude and Heathcliff.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
She says, we've been waiting around here all day for Herman the pigeon. I wonder what's keeping him. She says, I don't know what's keeping Herman. So Herman comes in, he had got a feather on him, and he's walking people-toed. See? And he got a feather on him, and Heathcliff says, what on earth happened to you? He says, the worst thing ever happened to me. I was flying too low over Beverly Hills, and I got in the damnedest badminton game you ever saw.
That's wonderful. It's fun to be around you again.
Oh, thank you.
Some of the best times I ever had in my life was hanging around CBS in the 50s when you were on the air and all those great shows came out, Playhouse 90 and Bob Crosby and Art Linkletter and all those great shows were working there. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, well, you're a wonderful man to be around.
You taught me a lot. I stole a lot from you.
No, you didn't.
Oh, yes, I did.
No. It's like the students. They say, when Johnny was with you at one time, you helped him get started. I said, no, nobody helps you get started. If you've got talent, they can put you behind a brick wall. You'll come through, you know?
Yeah, that's nice.
So that's what you have.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.